Hello, hello, everyone. Okay, welcome to the first live. I have to invite some people in on this. And our good friend Vashty is having some car trouble and kids stuff going on, as it so happens. That's life. So whenever she's here, she will hop on.
I think she did.
Did she hop on? Hi, Vashty.
Hi.
Yay!
Yay, we made it.
We made it.
Success.
I'm just adjusting my thing here. All right. Can you guys see me okay? We're good?
We're good.
We're good? We're live?
We're live.
Kind of.
Hi,
Oh my
Rob.
goodness.
You just made it. Everything's good?
I almost didn't make it.
You made it in the nick of time.
It would have been fine. We would have been good chatting until you got here anyway.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I got it. I just said, I guess that's how it happens, right?
That's life. That's life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Works out perfect.
All right.
All right, here we go. Let's do this.
Welcome. It's your first live. Our official live.
We've got our first live. Yeah, it was funny because I was like, oh, I'm going to say this, and now that we're on, I'm like, I don't know what to say.
We're just
Well, we're making it all about you today. So we're actually doing an introduction of Christine. And we're going to talk about you because the three of us are basically doing this new trio of workshops and healing, and we're going to be doing a lot of stuff. So this is the first live, and we're going to slowly introduce ourselves so people get to know us. And that's what these are for. Well, also, we're going to do some workshop. We're going to do a little bit of tools here and there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, I guess we all took turns. Today was Christine's turn.
Christine's good.
I just want to say Dr. Ralph is on the call. Hi, Dr. Ralph.
Oh, my God. Hi. We're going to talk about Christine. You have any good stories?
I'm sure he does.
So Dr. Ralph is one of our
too.
teachers from B.E.S.T. So we actually combined have over 30 years of B.E.S.T. between the three of us. And yeah, I think it's funny how we just started doing mastermind calls like a year ago off and on. And then we just started talking and we decided to work together because why not?
Because why not? Because we mesh well. We chat well together.
Fan the energy.
Yeah, so I guess I'll start.
Tell us
just a quick
your
little
story. Who
Tell us
are
my
you?
story. Christine Parker. I live in Kitchener, Ontario, Canada. I've been a massage therapist for over 20 years, and just over a decade ago, I decided to try and look for things that weren't so hard on my body because I was doing a lot of deep tissue. I still do. I have this story on my website too. So I was at a conference, and there were little like breakout sessions and stuff like that about different topics and everything, and Dr. Mortar, Ted, and Tom they were all doing this breakout session, this workshop about bioenergetics. I was like, well, that sounds kind of interesting. So I'm at the back of the room. They're up on stage. They're talking about all things energy, and it seems pretty interesting. And then they get a volunteer to go up on stage. Now, this woman, she had her range, I still remember it, her range of motion in her neck was probably like, I think it was about 50% in each direction. Her shoulder range of motion, like if you can, like it was like just a little bit above halfway for extension there. And she'd been in a car accident 20 years ago. And I'm like, so I'm thinking like how much, money and time and effort has she spent on home care and chiropractor and massage and osteo and phys, like all the things, right? Like it's just going through my brain.
You are a massage therapist, so you know what that is about.
Right. So I know all the things that that I've helped people with that same thing, right? So, and in a matter of minutes, so he did a treatment on her, and it wasn't even like the full lay down procedure. It was like the mini treatment that we can teach people and you guys at home to do this. He did that to her, and again, within minutes, like full range of motion, neck was like full range of motion, shoulders were like almost like hyperextended, and I'm just sitting there going like, how did he do that? what? I'm just like, I had tears in my eyes and I had goosebumps. And I turned to my friend, I'm like, I need to know how he did that. Because again, like where'd the scar tissue go? Like what happened to this? What happened to muscle guarding? And all these like, you know, massage therapy, sciencey things are going on in my brain. And I'm like, well, I need to know more. And then,
was this at a B.E.S.T conference or was this at a different conference?
this was through Jen.
Oh, so
yeah.
Jen was Jen was an entrepreneurship through the world that all of us got introduced to B.E.S.T. So you were there and you didn't know about B.E.S.T. and that's how
Oh,
not you. Not you. We met her somewhere else.
Later.
She just random. Just random we picked up.
Yeah, so it was this other huge like personal development, global networking, all the things, like people from like, it wasn't just healthcare people, it was business people, it was entrepreneurs, it was like, you know, like just everyday people that were at these types of events.
So that's the first time you saw this was there.
That was the first time I was ever introduced to it. And then after that, they came to Toronto a couple times, so I did a couple of their events in Toronto. And then I was like, I jumped in with both feet. I did B.E.S.T, I did personal B.E.S.T, I did personal B.E.S.T 2, I did animal B.E.S T. This stuff can be done on animals as well. So I went to the Mortar Farm in Arkansas, and we did animal B.E.S T there, the animal mastery, and it was just, there's so much fantastic information. It's just like, and so that's how I got started into it.
Who's your favorite teacher?
Ralph.
Ralph. Actually, I still remember that Ralph was my first. He was my first, like when you go to the workshops, you break it into groups after so you can practice, right? We all know this. But Dr. Ralph was my guy. Like he was the TA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I still remember I got so frustrated because I wasn't getting my yeses and nos. And I'm like, I'm competitive. I do things right the first time. Like I'm very hard. I'm like, I'm not getting it. And he's like, just go for a walk, calm yourself down, center yourself. And then I came back to the table and it was like, I got my yes and my no. Like it was too much in my head.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, with energy work, we know you can't be in your head about it.
Not at all.
And so your background, like how long were you doing massage therapy before you saw that?
So I started practicing in 2001, and I think it was 2012 or 2011. It's somewhere around there. I'd have to check my certificate, but about 10 years.
So you were well versed in the massage therapy field, and then you saw this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What brought you
Oh, sorry, Tricia, go ahead.
What brought you into massage?
Brought me into massage. I wanted to like work on athletes, and I thought that was one of like the easiest ways to get in that way. And then I realized how much work and effort you have to do to actually be on a sports team and how you don't get paid to be on a sports team. And I was like, I like this work, but I also want to get paid to do it. So
make it a living. Yeah.
I gotta make some money at it. Yeah, there was someone I knew, he was working on a national sports team and he wasn't getting paid. And I'm like, he got free tickets to the games, but I was like, I want more than free tickets. So
yeah. And then was that, so for those of you guys that don't know, Christine is a field hockey player, but you're pretty high up. Were you playing that back then too, or you can tell us?
Yep.
I'm more fascinated about your field hockey career than anyone else.
So
I think I was like, so like, where did you start that? Because you got pretty high up there.
Yeah, so I started in grade 6 we had it in phys ed class, and then grade 7, 8 we played against some other like local schools. And then I made the team in high school. And then in my last year of high school, my phys ed teacher, who actually also coached me field hockey, brought us over, or she started like recruiting people to the Kitchener team. I think I was 19 at the time. I now just turned 44. And I'm still playing on the same team with a lot of the same women. So it's been pretty awesome that way. And then a couple years ago, someone told me about the field hockey masters. So masters is like 35, 40 plus, us older women that still like to play the game. And I tried out for Team Canada. I made the team, which I was like super, super excited about. Thank you. And then COVID hit and it all got canceled. So I don't have a jersey with my name on it with the Canadian colors on it, but one day one day I'll get there again. So maybe 2024.
Do you
So,
utilize B.E.S.T within your, like with your teammates or anything like that, or for yourself before, like bioenergetics? Can you
so
tell me about that?
about that. So I have treated people on the sidelines.
Oh,
Are you
well,
good?
that must have been
Yeah.
fun.
There was one of actually just last year, one of the players, she showed up. She was having some like rib and back pain, and I didn't do like a full assessment, but I'm like, I'll just do like a quick balance out her energy. So I just did a quick B.E.S.T. She was laying on the grass. I just treated her right there. And then there happened to be a athletic therapist there as well. So I just went over and like tape her up. Do this, and this. We got to play, and we were short players, so she kind of had to play. No, she said like after the treatment, it didn't take all the pain away, but it took like that sharpness of the pain away. It took the edge off, so she could at least breathe easier, and then she was able to play a little bit better. So not that I recommend people play when they're in pain, but
Side note, don't do that.
side note, but I wasn't her therapist, so I'm like, yeah. So I mean, what I tell people, what they,
Get out there.
right?
Yeah, when you're a teammate, you're like, you get out of the field.
Stop.
You're a
Yeah,
therapist, you're like, no.
Everything's fine. Um, yeah, and then just last year, before my first game, I get really excited, and sometimes I get anxious before a game. So it's like, I gotta do a B.E.S.T treatment before I play. So I did a little self B.E.S.T treatment on myself, got to the game, warmed up everything, and I think like not even through the first half, one of the girls, Shannon, she yells from the sideline, or I think it was maybe at halftime. She was like, "Parker, you're so calm today," and I'm like, "I did a B.E.S.T treatment before I played. Like, I think it's really helping." It does. It just takes that it takes that focus and just helps it narrow it down, because you don't have all this like extra crap that's running on in your head. You just get, you get focused with things. And
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, in your words, like, what do you think is happening as an athlete? Like, you can, we're going to go from perspectives of you as therapist and as an athlete, but as an athlete, like, what do you think is happening energetically wise when you're like on the field and you get injured and then you get do B.E.S.T and there's a change, or even there where, where is this anxiety you think is coming from, and how do you think B.E.S.T is actually helping you?
my anxiety.
Well, like, I just mean like your perspective, like, what do you think in your own words is happening? Like, so anxiety happens from a belief pattern from when we were younger, or a different realm of energy. So for you, like, what do you think is happening in your perspective, in your experiences being an athlete?
With the anxiety, I'm just trying to think. Well, like you said, like anxiety happens because of either belief patterns, or there's stuck energy somewhere, or you're just too much in your head and not enough in your body. So,
and then your body kind of gets like distorted, so there's no like communication happening, right?
Yeah.
And then we go into B.E.S.T, and so the whole idea is that when you're doing that, when you're going into anxiety, or you're playing a game, and then we call it bushwhacked, so you get injured, and then you go and you're like, okay, so it's kind of distortion of energy. So like there's different words for it. For distortion right now is coming up to me for some reason. Never used that word before. But basically when you go into any of the practices of B.E.S.T, like what you're utilizing is these little techniques that we have in order to like basically, and I tell my people, I'm like, I got some fans, I guess. I got some people. I got my people. But yeah, like you're basically bringing your body back into balance, bringing it back into regulation. You're giving it ability to communicate, so it can go into a state of like clarity. I always like the story when we do 4 square breathing is a technique that we use, and I remember, I don't know who told me, maybe it was Ralph, no joking, but maybe Dr. Ted, I think in program, he was saying how the 4 square breathing is actually used by snipers to decrease the nervous system, so they can actually have a better aim. So so it's kind of really neat that we have these little techniques to basically bring in. So
now that you mentioned where breathing, why don't we give them a little bit of background on that, if Christine or want to talk about it, and we can introduce you because it does help us get out of that fight or flight. So when you are feeling anxious, like people don't know how to do bioenergetics on themselves, but four square breath or conscious breathing or rhythmic breath it's all the same. It's just called different things, but that can really help put us back into that state so that we are out of that fight or flight or defense physiology, right? So would you like to explain a little bit more or teach how to do it?
I was just going to say, for people that don't know much about it, the distortion I was talking about is the two words that she uses, like the defense physiology and fight and flight. So those are that's what your nervous system is actually doing, is when you're going into that.
Yep. So it's also called box breathing. Navy, I know, box breathing, Navy SEALs do it too. There's lots of people out there that do it. Other breath work teachers have done it as well. So it's super, super simple. It's like a box. So 4 sides. So you inhale for 4 seconds, you hold your breath for 4 seconds, you exhale slow for 4 seconds, and then you hold your breath out for 4 seconds and repeat. And the other thing you want to incorporate is that you don't want to be breathing into your chest. You want to make sure you're trying to breathe like into the belly, so you're getting those nice deep belly breaths. I think I just breathe through my chest there on that one, but yeah, belly breaths. And again, belly breathing is more parasympathetic. So parasympathetic is that rest, digest, heal. And when you breathe more shallow into your upper chest, that's your sympathetic nervous system, which is the like running from a bear. So when you breathe, you want to make sure you're breathing into that nice lower belly. And again, you can do 4 seconds if that's too short. I don't go much past 4 seconds, but I know some people that do it for 8 in, 8 hold, out 8. So the better you get at breathing, Someone froze. Did you freeze or did I freeze? Did you guys freeze or did I? You froze?
You froze.
I'm like,
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay. Well, as long as you can hear me, that's fine.
The one thing I would add about, because you were saying about some people do it 8, so we are actually trying to improve the length, because what I've been told is that it's better for us if we can lengthen it, but never to cheat it out. Like, keep it that box. So if you only can do if you can do 5 and 4, don't do 5. Count for 4, and then look at working for it to be increased to longer length, which would help in the long run for your body, but never over pushing it, like listening to what your body needs in that sense. And also what I tell my clients is put their hand on their chest and their stomach and then fill up that way to start, because especially when we're not conscious of it, we're just trying to do it. This brings us more into our body as opposed to keeping us in our head. I got to do this breath right. Take us out of that.
Gonna go for 8.
Go for 8. And that's one of the biggest things with bioenergetics, is that we are trying to get people out of their head and feel more in their body. Because when you live in your head, you're living in this like ego, fight or flight, more you're just not connected.
Yeah.
Right. So the breathing helps you connect to your body. It helps you connect to the present moment. You're not worried about the past. You're not worried about the future. You're in that present moment and you're just breathing. So it's great homework. I give it to my clients a lot of the time, especially if you're having issues sleeping. It's a great thing to do when you're laying in bed trying to go to sleep at night.
Last night.
Yeah.
I tell my clients all the time to do this to help them in any moment, like throughout the day. If you're feeling a little bit anxious or you feel your shoulders rising, to like drop your shoulders down and just do the 4 square box breath, because that instantly helps you get back into your body, relaxes the mind, and gets you. And even if you're like high stress job and you're about to go into a meeting, or you have something and you're feeling unfocused, and it's a great one to like, it doesn't take long and it's free. Like win, right?
Yeah. Or during a field hockey game when you're starting to get irritated because the umpires aren't doing a very good job.
Or your children are screaming their faces off and biting.
Yeah. So many uses. So the other thing is that, like, obviously you can do it when you're in those anxiety spots, but if you start doing it more so when you're already in that calm, it's going to help bring your baseline of stress down, so that if and when you do get into something that's stressful, you're not going to spike as high on the was it the stress chart, I guess.
Stress calendar.
Why not? I was with with clients, there's a pain chart. I also talk about like your stress chart, right? So like if you're running around and your stress is at a 5 and you're at a constant 5, if you get into, if something comes at you and it's a stress level 3, well, now you're at an 8 out of 10, right? Whereas if your baseline of stress is like at a 2 when you hit a 3, then you're only at a 5, which is still a bit high, but you're not spiking. So, and then we all know that any type of stress is going to cause physical symptoms, and that causes issues in the body, which again, what we do with B.E.S.T and the techniques and all the principles behind it, we help you resolve the interference that's happening with stress and the body. So it's
more adaptable.
Yeah. I was also going to say, if anybody has any questions out there while we're chatting, feel free to drop them in the chat. We're happy to answer any questions that anybody has about anything, energy.
Let us know if we're box breath or whatever you call it, because there's so many names for the same breath technique, right? And what you do it for, when you're feeling like, what is it that you use it for mostly? And I think too, like us doing this, you might know it already, but like the reminder, like I tell my clients and it reminds me, oh yeah, I should do that more often. You know, like, oh yeah, I got to get back into that routine or whatever. So if you know it, it's maybe this is coming to you to remind you to do it more if you're not doing it.
Yeah. I was going to say, so that's one of the breath works. There are like many, oh, someone's got a question. There are many breath works, many breathing exercises to do. And we've got so many to teach you. So we're obviously not going to go over all of these in the first one, but as we go on with these Instagram lives, and we're going to be doing master classes as well, where we will get into a lot of the juicy information behind this. We'll go into it in a lot more depth. And there's questions. I saw somebody. Have you read it?
Like, yeah. Do you want us to you want to jump in?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I lost it. Okay. What are some techniques to manage stress when things come up while you're out and about in public? Well, I think the box breathing will be good and we can just practice that now. So.
Hi, Steph.
Yeah.
Good question.
And then box breath is great. How do you know where to find stuck energy? I'm totally in fight and flight a lot and not sure why. So is that the question?
Talk more about that in our master class.
But
yeah. That is feel it in your body. Like, I think that's the biggest thing, and what we really get disengaged on is where is it showing up, especially if like something stressful is coming up or whatnot. Where do you feel it in your body? And then you can even go from there and move and navigate and let your body show you more so you're finding where that stuck energy is, and then you can help yourself navigate through breath work and of course what we're talking about, bioenergetics and many techniques, yes, that can help with that. What do you guys say?
Yeah, I would say to feel into your body. Like sometimes people are really they're really disconnected. So when we do the breath work, that usually people can kind of vaguely figure out where the stuck energy is. And if you're still stuck and disconnected, just be conscious. I always say it, being observant. Just be observant of like what shows up, your, feelings, emotions. Sometimes there's like random memories or people that pop into your head. Those might not be stuck energy in your body, but it could be stuck energy, in other realms of you. And those are just reminders of the triggers that are showing up. And so, I think that's just practice, really. It just practice and having that. And, if you work with a practitioner, we can help you navigate more in depth of where the stuck energy may be coming from.
I know that stuck energy can show up off the body and where your mind directs you. So a lot of time, if you're not feeling it internally, look outside too. Like, where does your mind bring you? I might not feel it physically in my body, but my mind is bringing me to my legs for some reason. So yeah, that's great tips so far.
Well, and something that Amy said as well, she's like, I'm stuck in fight or flight a lot, and I'm not sure why. A lot of people don't know why they have the anxiety or the pain or the whatever symptoms they're getting, or if it's just an overall feeling of just like overwhelm. A lot of people don't know why they're in that mode, and the simple answer is because you're stuck in your head. Like you're not grounded down with your body. You're not feeling it in your body. There's another breath work called central channel breathing, which we can either get into that now, or there's links that we can give you for that one as well if you want to DM me, which is another great one. It just starts moving the energy that's stuck in your body, and it starts I guess loosening it up. But you want to pay attention to where in the body as well, because there's a lot of stuff with Chinese medicine. There's a lot of stuff like different areas of your body will hold different emotions or different things. I had a client the other day who was having some back issues. It was his mid back and his low back. And I just basically read this little chart that talks about what energy's stuck where. And lower back. Okay, lower back. Yeah. Steph, I can talk to you about that. Yeah. Low back. I was actually going to bring the book, but I forgot. But no.
Lower back and
is the first point we actually have when we're being developed. Like it's the first one that comes in. So holding a lot in your jaw is interesting in the low back.
And it's interesting. Yeah. Those two joints are actually they're the first ones that are developed together in when you're in the womb. So it's a really strong connection of the two. So usually when you're coming for lower back, you release the jaw, or the vice versa, and then we can get into womb work one time.
Yeah.
Vashty specialty.
Yes, let's go in there. Do you want to start doing? We should just do practice of the box breathing for everybody to practice and get that in. Do you want to do it? Yeah, I'm ready.
Making me do it? All right. So if it's safe to do so, you can put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. This will help you just bring awareness to that area, as well as you can feel where you're inhaling to. You guys probably can't see my lower hand. So when you breathe, okay. There you go. Tricia will show it. So when you breathe into your belly, you're going to make your belly as big as you possibly can. So you're going to inhale. The belly expands, and you're going to hold it there. We're going to do 4 seconds. We'll just quick go over it now. And then when you exhale, you're going to draw your belly button towards the back of your spine. And then inhale, belly out. 3, 4, exhale, draw your belly button towards the back of your spine. And just notice if that's challenging to do. Notice if you are breathing more into your chest, or if you can just, what's the word? Focus? What's the word I'm thinking of?
Like center, oh my goodness, what is going on? Center the breath? Is that
center? Control the belly? Like just, you're just...
Oh, when you're just like holding your bra, you're not relaxing?
I don't know what the word is I'm trying to think of.
Statement, I missed it. What did you
say? No, that's surrendering into the breath. Yeah, just surrendering into the breath is basically, challenging.
Yeah. Yes, if it is challenging for you, it's fine. What I would actually get you to do then is to just breathe in your chest, so you know what that chest breathing feels like. So inhale, fill up those upper lungs, and then exhale. And again, breathe into those upper lungs. And exhale. Okay, now you want to breathe into the belly. Again, make the belly as big as you can. And exhale. Pull the belly towards the back of the spine. Another trick that I actually heard a while ago is to exhale first. So just take a couple normal breaths. Again, you put one hand on your stomach, on one hand on your on your chest, and then exhale first. So, and draw that belly to the back of the spine. And then when you inhale, your belly should automatically like expand. So I think, yeah, Maria, try that and see if that helps as well. Belly feels restricted when I breathe in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might just need to practice more. Much better breathing through your chest. It's probably because you're used to breathing through your chest. I don't know if you have kids or if you have nephews. When we're born, I don't have kids, but I know this. Babies breathe into their belly. Their chests don't move. And then as we go through life, we build up stress, and we start holding on to stress and things like that. And then we become chest breathers, and we start breathing through the chest.
And try maybe laying down. If you can lay down in a comfortable position, and then putting your hands there, and even just like a very subtle, if you can even just get your hand on your belly just to have a movement of some sort, that's where you start. You start there. You start just getting that connection, that movement, that, oh, right, this is how it's supposed to go. Because what happens is if you're only feeling in your chest, it's because you're in the fight and fight response all the time. You're in the shallow breathing. You're ready to run. So we're going to drop it down. We're going to bring you down. And then that hand hold onto you is going to get you to remember, oh, this is my body. This is my meat suit. Let's connect back in. And so just putting your hands in, getting in a really comfortable position, and then just feeling, it could just be a really subtle movement, but that's still a first connection there.
Hi, Maria. I know that lying down, 100% I agree, and not even going to the box breath. Just focus on the inhalation and exhalation. But I love Christina's tip about exhaling first. Like let all that air out, and then with focusing on breathing into the stomach. I have lots of clients that I talk about just starting with the hands on the stomach and the chest and breathe. And don't even like don't stress yourself out if you don't have it right away. Just keep practicing and doing it. And then eventually you'll be like, and also another tip is we're not just expanding in the stomach, we're breathing all around. So it's breathing out like we're filling up. But yeah.
Exhaling, my spine hurts. So just if it's when you breathe into your belly, it's a deeper breath, but it still can be a shallow little inhale. So I would say play with that, and just try that over the next couple of days. Again, if you have more questions about it, or if that's still bothering you and you're not progressing, reach out to any one of us, and we'll be happy to help.
And the spine hurting might be just like when you're breathing in, we kind of almost stretch out some muscles that you're not used to actually. Like if you take deep breaths and you're not used to using that, your diaphragm drops in. And if you're feeling pain in your spine, you're probably just like, your body's like, whoa, what's going on there? And it's actually working. So sometimes if it's not like an excruciating pain or just a discomfort, usually it's just an acknowledgement that those muscles haven't been really used for a while. So, and then
practice a little bit less, but more often. So maybe you're doing shorter like time frame, and then on that. You're
none
normal.
of us are normal. None of us are normal.
None of us are normal.
You're in the club. I wanted to highlight, Ralph just put a really good like journaling for those of the guys that are wanting to know more about stuckness in the body. And he just wrote, what am I experiencing feeling? Where am I experiencing feeling it? And what am I learning from this experience feeling? So that's another thing. You don't have to journal. You can just, when things happen, you can just have those questions and be that mindfulness with where you're at too. Yeah. I'm always scared that he's going to ask us a question. So don't ask us.
He's going to ask us like a big tough question. Wait, come on, bring it. We got it.
It's 3 of us. We're good. Yeah, no, but so important, that awareness. We're bringing it back into our body, and that's what it's all about, right? That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
And for those of you that Christine's Instagram account, she's got a lot of like videos on there on everything. I was checking out the other day. I'm like, holy, wow, okay. So if you need to know anything, you can just go on her account, and she's got lots of videos on. Oh, I love you too, Ralph.
We love you too, Ralph.
Yeah. So yeah, she's a really good resource for all the best stuff. So.
Love you too, Ralph. I missed that.
We need another event. We got to get together.
Yeah. Yes, so definitely tons of information out there, and we're going to be coming on weekly right now. And the end of the month, we're doing a master class. So super, super excited to be doing this with you ladies. I'm so like pumped.
Yep.
And I'm so grateful to be able, because I know that this is reaching more people and we're able to serve more. So yeah, so I look forward to that and being able to do this. And I love all the questions that we're getting so far. So this is great.
So good.
Yeah.
Mm.
Any
Good question.
other questions out there?
Just
So yeah,
from
Christine, do you want to talk a little bit about more your practice and what you're doing and how you're integrating B.E.S.T with massage?
Sure. It's funny, actually, after the first time I took the B.E.S.T workshop, I came home and my very first client had some pretty nasty back pain. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just learned this really cool thing. Like I'm thinking that in my head. And I was like, okay, so I just learned this technique on the weekend. Do you mind if I try it? And I just started talking a little bit about it. And she's like, I'm a Reiki master. I was like, oh my gosh, pop on the table, right? Because she already knew about energy. So it was great. Had phenomenal results. It was awesome. So the next time, I think it might have been later that day or within that week, I had another client come in and he had back pain. I was like, great, hop on my table. I'm going to fix you, right? So he gets on the table. I treat him, no change whatsoever. And I'm like, why didn't that work? I'm like, this is what it's supposed to do. And then after that, I thought about it and I was like, I was totally in my head and ego, like, I'm going to fix you. And I'm like, that's not how this works. So none of us fix you. None of us heal you. We are facilitators. We open up the channels. We balance out your energy, and what your body does with that energy and what your body does once it's balanced is up to the body. We can help potentially sometimes guide it in directions, but your body works in survival. So whatever's highest priority, that's what your body is going to work on first. So I'm glad I learned that lesson early on. And more recently, I've been doing, I've started to integrate it with all new clients. Back then, like when I first started, I was a little bit nervous about talking to people about it because I was a little bit, I wasn't confident in my skills and even in myself to do it yet. But obviously now I'm comfortable talking to people about it. So when people come in, I'm like, this is what I do. I balance you out. I focus on balancing the nervous system first. The nervous system controls our muscles. So when people are coming in and their shoulders are like this, balance the nervous system. And the majority of the time, the muscles now do that, or at least halfway, or at least a little bit. And when I calm down the muscles, I can then get in there as a massage therapist and manipulate and work the tissue that much better. And treatments are lasting longer, clients are getting better quicker, which isn't always a good business plan, but I'm like, but people are getting better quicker. So, which means I have more space available in my calendar for more people. But yeah, it's been great. I'm starting to do more remote sessions. B.E.S.T can also be done remotely, which all three of us do. So you don't have to be in our city or even in our country. You can be somewhere on the other side of the world and we can still do these techniques with you, which is phenomenal and fantastic. We've all gotten some great results with remote clients as well. And yeah, I've got some new programs and stuff coming up that I'm dropping soon. So if you follow my Instagram, you'll find out what those are. And yeah, it's been awesome. I'm loving it. I love being the weird energy girl.
I'm going to have to jump off in a few moments. I've still a minute. I still have about 4 minutes because then I have a B.E.S.T client.
He has a client.
Remote.
All right. Well,
so yeah, Maria, that is right. What I did, what we were working on when I came to the hospital when you're there. Yeah, you got it right. I came and did B.E.S.T and it was wonderful.
Isn't that funny?
And that's good. It's a
Sometimes
gentle
you're like, I'm
technique.
just going to try something on you, and you don't actually tell them, and they're like, I feel better. I'm like, that's good, and then just like run away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like here, just
I've definitely done that.
And just a quick thing on the technique, it's very gentle, it's very passive. There's no like elbows in glutes or hamstrings or anything. So it's especially awesome if you do have a sensitive area or you are in a lot of pain. We're not like twisting and turning you. It's just basically like touching acupressure points and that type of thing, and all along energy meridians and
that's a
and that. So.
point, because yeah, we don't even have to touch the body. Like I worked with a client who was quadriplegic and he couldn't feel anything, so that's also, you know, and we work remotely, so we're not physically touching anyone's body. So if you are in a lot of pain, you don't have to worry about that. We have to do it that way. And then there's, yeah, it's very non-invasive. I love it. Oh yeah, but obviously we all very passionate about what we do and love bringing it to everyone. So yeah.
All right.
Well,
So,
Christine can stay. Do you want to stay on just in case if anybody has any questions?
Yeah, I was just going to repeat and say we're doing a master class. I think it's on the 23rd. It's the last Thursday of the month. You will have to sign up for that one because it's going to be via Zoom, but we're going to be doing Instagram lives until then. So if you have any questions or comments or anything, reach out to any and all of us. I would suggest on your Instagram, if you go to our Instagram pages, there's that little bell in the top corner. If you hit that and you just hit follow, be notified for Instagram lives or stories. Stories is another good one to get notified for.
Yeah, and feel free to follow any or all of us if you haven't already. And yeah, reach out. We're here to help support and share the love of B.E.S.T.
Awesome. And I was going to talk about how it doesn't have to be physical.
Yeah.
Because we talked a lot. I just wanted to let people know, like, you know, I think most of us on the call here, like, we're mostly body workers. So, you know, my background is chronic pain and rehab, and Christine's a massage therapist. And so, you know, I think a thing is that you also can come in for B.E.S.T if you have, you know, depression, anxiety, if you're working on a goal. Like most of my clients when I first started were entrepreneurs, and they were looking for something that's like getting their blocks down, like making more money. I had people that wanted to have a baby. Like it's usually like, I remember Dr. Mortar is like, how do you know if you can treat somebody? And he'd always say, are they breathing? So, okay. So just so you know, like B.E.S.T is actually an overall technique of like balancing the body, regulating it so it can heal itself. So it's not like, obviously we're just like, I'm definitely like, you have a pain, you have an injury? Okay, can I work on it? Like that's just how I am. But you know, we are working at like, there's so much to the health, so much to the body that we can work through. So just so you know, it's not just physical. We work through a lot of other aspects of the body and of your goals and that kind of stuff. I mean, Tricia, you just did a vision board, right? A vision board workshop with B.E.S.T.
Done that. Balance people to vision boards. I do work with a lot of people more on anxiety, depression, stress related stuff, and also as a personal trainer, it comes physically too, but reaching and all that stuff as well. So yeah, definitely amazing.
Just wanted to let people know. Yeah.
But that's when I gotta go. Is there anything else you wanted to say before you hop off, and we'll end the call shortly after?
Yeah, no, I'm good. Thanks, ladies. I'm gonna get on my client now. So I look forward to our next call and talking to you guys soon, and hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Bye now.
Thank you.
Right. Oh my goodness, it's Thursday. I'm thinking it's Friday.
Let's have a long weekend.
All right. Bye, ladies.
Bye.
All right. Good.
It's like pause.
Just like pause. There she is.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, you know, that's what the master class is about, is also just to like talk about the different goals, and we're gonna go a little bit deeper on how to utilize B.E.S.T and what you can do to help your body. And, you know, one of our teachers always said it's always about being adaptable, so not physically but also mentally too. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I've had a client and we worked on some goals, and he was having some neck issues, but it wasn't an issue that day. And then I had him think about a work goal, and he's like, that's weird. I'm like, what? He's like, my neck pain came back. I'm like, so sometimes it's not a current physical, sometimes it's things in the future that we're looking forward to that's causing an interference. And I think maybe next call we'll talk about being bushwhacked and what that means. That's a good topic. There's so many different
so many
topics that we could talk about. We were all like, what do we talk about at the first call? There's so much.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any questions for us before we close the first live?
First live. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much. And if you want to know more about Christine or any of us, just reach out and follow us along. All of us have our own specialties of what we do, and I'm really excited to work with these two amazing people. We all started B.E.S.T at the same time, so it's been a whirlwind. And do you remember when we met? I was going to ask you about these questions. I forgot to bring it up. Do you remember the first time we met?
No.
No. I think
not the very first time.
I think it was so funny because I think it was like really casual at like afterwards at like we're at the table and maybe Ralph was there, I don't know, and like Roland, and like I know Roland was there for sure, and I think it was just like a super casual, and someone told you're Canadian. I was like, oh, she's a Canadian, and that was like how I remember you. There wasn't very many Canadians at the time. I was the only one in Western Canada.
Like, there's a few more at West.
So yeah, no, that was really fun. But yeah, and yeah, good. You feel complete? Any other stories you have for us?
I probably have lots of stories, but I can't think of any. There's other stories I could bring. There's many stories. I've got, I'm a massage therapist for over 21 years and best practitioner for over 10. We've got some stories.
Oh yeah, and she works fuller time, so I'm pretty sure you have some good stories.
Yeah, good stories, fun stories. Okay, I think we're good.
Yeah,
that's 45 minutes. Yeah, was that 45 minutes for our first call?
I showed up at my house in 5 minutes before we started, so that was all good.
Awesome. No, I'm glad you were able to go.
I'm glad you were able to join us.
Thanks for coming.
All right, guys. I'm excited. Awesome. Next Thursday, just look at our stories to make sure you are. We're going to do it every Thursday from now until I think right now we have a plan for Thursdays, unless we do our master class, and then that's
right. It'll be like 7 p.m. Eastern time, which is what's that mountain time?
5 o'clock Mountain Time. Because I'm in Calgary for everyone that doesn't know.
I know. It's like you guys didn't even say like, hi, I'm so and so. Next time we'll do like little mini intros for everyone.
There was a plan. I swear.
Oh. All right. Good night, and we'll see you next week, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.